Welcome to Fortress of Faith with Tom Wallace, calling North America to repentance and revival.
Well, we're back once again at the corner of truth and courage. You're listening to Fortress of Faith. This is Tom Wallace, and our attention again today is going to be on the Middle East with this conflict with Israel and Iran. This fight has been brewing for over a decade. And of course, at the time of this taping of today's broadcast, we may have already seen what we're expecting to unfold. I don't know. But let me weigh in today and give you my thoughts of why I think Iran will strike with a full-scale war assault on Israel, and then also give you reasons why it won't. I'm going to try to address both sides of that. Will they? Will they not? Well, I do not have a crystal ball here, neither do you. So we can only just read what we're hearing from the news reports and what we know of the area. One thing that's very interesting is that Egypt, President al-Sisi has just declared, we're going to remain neutral. We're not going to get involved. We're not going to join Israel in defending them against Iran. They're not going to aid Iran. So they have chosen to be neutral. Now, you need to go back 3 months. There was a conflict there, and for the first time, Israel shot rockets into Iran for what they had done, and Iran responded with 300 missiles. And you remember that event, only one or so got through. You need to realize that Jordan, who is to the east of Israel and right in the direct line of fire, if Iran shoots missiles and rockets and whatever airplanes, if they're not manned and if they're not, flown and directed by intelligent capabilities there, and they're just going to be missiles, flying up and down, they have to cross over the Jordanian airspace, about 50 miles of it. And Jordan was involved in shooting them down. So an Arab nation stood with Israel and said, we're going to defend you against Iran. And that's very significant. And so King Abdullah has already, had peace agreements with Israel, but now got involved, and he will likely stand there again. And Saudi Arabia said, don't you send anything over our way. We'll shoot it down as well. So MBS, Mohammed bin Salman, is standing with Israel on that front. Will it be a surgical strike against Israel, or will it be an all-out war? We don't really know. Let's address the surgical strike. If Iran does this and chooses for a surgical strike, it has to be big, because what Israel did was big. I mean, they took out one of their enemies in his bedroom, in the guest bedroom, a stateroom in Tehran, under the nose of Iran. And they did it without an airstrike. They did it by planting a bomb, by Mossad planting a bomb with the help of the Iranian army. So that leads me into one of the reasons why Iran will not strike as a full-out war. They've just changed military hands or presidential hands. At the top, you had just recently the death of their president who had passed away. Remember that helicopter crash back in May? We had the death of President Ibrahim Raisi, and the foreign minister also died in that helicopter crash. Well, just last week, they had a change of a new president, Masoud Pezeshkian. And so at the very top, I don't think that they've got an established leader to lead this war. And so that's one reason why they probably will not do it. Another thing is because of the distance they have to go. They have to go through Iraq. They have to go through Syria. Now, even though these are broken states, I'm not sure if that's just going to be an easy thing for them to expect, Iraq especially, to say, we're going to look the other way, and you just go ahead and send all your armies and military stuff and go ahead and go get Israel. I'm not sure they're going to want to let them do that. But because that these states are somewhat broken, especially Syria, there might be more pushback from Iraq. That's going to prevent Iran from coming in. They do not have the support of the Arabs. The Arabs are more likely to stand with Israel now, which is a huge turn of events. And the one guy that really has to be credited for that is MBS, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman. He holds some very important cards, and he is very interested in making peace and normalizing relationships with Israel. But it was just announced this week that President Biden has been pushing for this because he wants to go out of his presidency with a feather in his cap, saying he brought peace to the region and got the major player to sign with Israel. And Biden has done so little to really help the situation. In fact, let me throw some light on that situation just a little bit more for you. They see Biden and Obama as problematic. They have created problems for them in the Middle East. They've not helped them. Why? Because they've refused to take a strong stand against Iran. And instead of crippling them and tying their hands up by drying up their money and resources, these two presidents have loosened the hands of Iran. And that's why these problems are happening. And so there's very little trust of this administration. And they've harmed America's view in the Middle East. And then also, too, the way we pulled out of Afghanistan, we made promises to the people over there. You work with us, you help us fight against the Taliban, we'll protect you, we'll give you, American citizenship, we'll bring you to America, you serve us for 3 years, and we'll do this for you. And we abandoned them. We left them there, and they were slaughtered by the Taliban. And people over there see that. They see how America walked away and the promises that they made and they didn't keep. And they've seen that from the from the West before. So they do have very little trust. And I don't blame them. I get that. And so this is part of the problem that we have going on in the Middle East. And but realize this. The Arabs are not interested in saving Iran. Iran is a menace. Let me read to you what al-Sisi, President al-Sisi of Egypt said. Even though he's going to be neutral in this, they don't have very many high views of Iran. In 2017, Joe Rosenberg was interviewing al-Sisi, and here's what al-Sisi said of Iran. They call them a great menace. Iran is the great menace. Iran has built its military on religious dogma. The threat is not their weapons, but their strong religious beliefs. And he went on to add, Iranian leaders have a death wish. And they do. They want to die for Allah, get their 72 virgins, fighting the kafir, fighting the unbeliever, taking out Israel, doing God's work, killing the prophet killers. That's why they hate Israel so much. And they can't abide that they have a state, that they're there, and they hate that. And they want their destruction. And Iran just can't, the Iranian leaders cannot get over that. And neither can Palestine. And so, this bitterness and hatred has grown that these people are just willing to die and kill and let others be killed in this fight. So I kind of laid out maybe a reason why Iran will not do a full-scale attack against Israel. So I think they're left with two options. A surgical strike, but it has to be big. By big, I mean it has to be an important person that they take out or a significant location, target, whatever. But they have to be careful. There's a lot of Arabs there. there's a lot of Muslim iconic places there that they cannot afford to destroy. That's why even if they had a nuclear weapon, I don't think that they would use it, because they can't afford to see the Dome of the Rock blown up or the Al-Aqsa Mosque and stuff. I mean, they already have the Arabs hating them already. They don't want more. And so they're limited in this strike. So it has to come from Hezbollah. Hezbollah is in Lebanon to the north, and we can't expect more from Hamas. They're, not taken out, but they are pretty much neutralized to attack Israel. But Hezbollah is the A team. They're Shiites, and I think the main attack is going to come from them. So there may be an attempt of a ground invasion, perhaps, but I can't see it coming from anywhere else. But I'm not a tactical military guy by any imagination. I'm just looking at the realities of what the land that's there and the people that are there and where the armies are building up. And so that's kind of how I see it. The second thing that I want to share is this. Why Iran probably should attack. If they're going to do a full-scale attack, now's the opportunity. And here's a couple of reasons why. One, as I said earlier, Iraq is a failed state. Syria is a broken, failed state. Even though they'll have some conflicts with them, they can't really push back against Iran if Iran comes in with great force and pushes their way through these countries and brings their army attempt to bring them into Israel. So that's one good reason why they should do it now. The second good reason is there's weakness in America in the White House. They're not likely going to see Biden take a strong stand against Iran. He never has, and he's probably. And the days are getting smaller for that opportunity, because soon America may be electing a strong leader that they don't want, and so now's the opportunity. So there's a few pictures for us to look at and consider, but remember this: God's in control of all of this. No matter what happens, no matter what the outcome is, sadly, there'll be death. But this has been building for some time. In some ways, I'd rather for Israel just go ahead and get this over with and take care of the menace of the Middle East that none of the Arabs want, and put Israel back into a place that they never have to worry about them again, and liberate them from the Ayatollah, and let the people have fair elections and have an opportunity for prosperity to return back to that nation. So in many ways, that's what I would rather happen. Just go ahead and get this war over. But no one wants an escalation. I get that. And so we pray to that end as well. But God's in control. No matter what happens, God will be glorified in it. We don't have to worry about Israel being wiped off the face of this world, because God will watch their back, although there may be many who will die in a full-scale conflict, which we do not want. Well, we got to stop there, and I hope my ramblings on this there might have helped you some. If you have some views, I'd love to hear from you. You can contact us at fortressoffaith.com, fortressoffaith.com. Go to our comment page, or give us a call and leave a message, 1-800-616-0082. That's 800-616-0082. God bless you. We'll be back again tomorrow at the Corner of Truth and Courage.